So, mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Whew. What an interesting day. What an interesting day. How you guys doing? All two of you. Mm-mm-mm. Just sip my tea. You know. Yo, Merry Christmas, guys. Charlotte, official. Official in the building. Crazy day today. A little bit. Finra buying AMC. Kinda crazy. But it's the holidays. Hate Nation. Dan, what's going on? Yeah, that's good. It's good to be an 8. You guys see this shit, Finra buying AMC? Unless they fucking screenshotted the image, but looking pretty interesting. Finra Gasparino versus Trey and the short attack. Funny day. Yeah, I seen people talking about Trey and Gasparino, but I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to though. I heard it was interesting. The short attack though, man. I mean, how much more obvious do they want to get? Like, I get that some long and that like I had a comment on the video about the manipulation, about the short ladder attack. They said, hey, longs are dumping too. Certainly some people got scared out of their positions, but to see that kind of selling power come into the stock, 930, 931, doesn't make a lot of sense. Most apes sleep until like 11. I feel like, I don't know, could be wrong there. I buy XX weekly. I add on any dips I can. They can delay all they want, but our bags are growing and short-term capital gains are almost out the window. Yeah. That's a huge thing too. I mean, you can substantially take out some of that tax burden, which making money, you're making money anyways. Eventually you're going to have to pay taxes on all of it, but if you could pay less, that's always good. We are not squeezing ever. I was hoping that some I want to say haters, but some naysayers come in here, but I mean, we are not squeezing ever. Then I got a couple questions that come to mind. How much have you lost trading options? And why? Where does that concept come from? So I mean, if Finra's buying, then I think it's a pretty compelling story. And this is from today, December 23rd. Yeah, we sleep till 12 p.m. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's doesn't make a lot of sense to see all this selling power, you know, come into the stock right at open. Pretty interesting. I averaged down $15 because of the short tech. They're making it worse on themselves. Yeah, I mean, why would you even short AMC right now? Like, that's the craziest idea to me. Like, your potential downside is down to, like, that fundamental valuation. And I think, personally, we tested that at $20. You know, if, granted, maybe it's not a $20 is the fundamental valuation. It's somewhere in between $10 and $20, though. Like, imagine if the AMC movement never happened. Like, we would be trading somewhere in between $10 and $20 per share, regardless, because that's, you know, based off whoever, you know, their different calculations. It could be valued in between that range. And, I mean, the potential risk is just insane, because your risk shorting a stock is, like, unlimited. You can only make so much shorting a stock, so it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense right now. They're literally making it worse on themselves. And they're already taking a beating. They're already getting slapped around. Down 2% in November. I can only imagine what they're down in December. Like, honestly, if they're down 2% in November, they got to be down substantially in December. It's been back and forth, though. But, like, come on. Hedgies are not that smart. I've seen a lot of shills today, though. I've seen a lot of just, I don't know, people that are really feeling down or something. Like, why are you so down today? Was that just me? Have other people seen that today? Maybe it's the holidays. The holidays always bring out the worst in people. I think we can all agree on that. And a lot of people are, I mean, taking the holidays off too. That's why we are just seeing really low volume. Shit dropped off. But, you know, yo, Freddie G. Freddie G in the building. What are you guys doing for Christmas? Doing anything fun? About to travel? Pretty interesting. Well, you guys, these things are so good. What do you guys think about the secular rotation, too? I think AMC might squeeze when people sell. I mean, anything is possible at this point. We've seen a lot of crazy shit. But I think the secular rotation is going to be key. Because there's a lot of people, like analysts on CNBC, talking about the recovery trade, like for 2022, AMC in the recovery sector. And then on top of that, you know, the law of diminishing returns. Like, if you're invested in these large cap stocks, sure, you might make 5 to 10%, but it's hard to move those stocks around that much comparatively to like mid caps, like an AMC or SoFi or something else that a lot of us invest in. It's like AMC's possibly heading into another 2019 where the domestic box office was almost $12 billion. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to be short in AMC right now. I think the fundamentals will ultimately, you know, help the MOS. I think that's definitely a key to it. I don't know. We're chilling. Might take a week, might take a month, a couple months. I think hedge funds can keep paying interest on their positions and not have to cover. Yeah, they could definitely keep shelling out, the interest on their positions, but eventually they will have to cover. And it's like hedge funds in general, from what I've been seeing, they've taken a pretty big beating. Almost every day there's a hedge fund that gets reported down like 12% on the month. D1 Capital. Those kind of drops in hedge funds portfolios, that's really what is gonna hurt them when it comes down to it. Because I mean, you can put up all this money you want, but if your portfolio is losing 10% in a month, that's substantial. That's not like you or me losing 10%. There's a lot of pressure involved with that. There's a lot that goes along with a hedge fund losing that kind of money. Not to mention they're over leveraged like nobody's business. Will the markets be closed next Friday as well, New Year's observance? I do believe so. I can check here in a second. Hey, what's up, Tyler? Hey, thanks for taking time out of your day to explain things. I hope everything's going well for you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, it's definitely a lot to go over and take in. That's for sure. What's the word? What's new? Well, I think what's new, like today, Finra buying AMC. Kind of crazy. A lot of shills, a lot of naysayers today. I've seen that so much. Oh my God, today was bad. I don't know what it is. I just chalk it up to holidays, bring the worst out in people. Like, dude, why are you so mad? Like how much did you lose in options? It's terrible. Once the hedgies see the new Doctor Strange trailer, they'll realize they're screwed. LOL. Yeah, something like that. I mean, The Matrix too. Ooh. All these new movies. There's a couple that I'm definitely gonna go see. Like Avatar 2. Geez, that movie did $3 billion. Like 2.84 billion. That's over half of the whole year's box office numbers. That's insane. Top grossing movie. Crypto to pump. AMC shares never over because we are right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was 78. This order right here, 2,770 shares, is $78,000. And I don't imagine these guys are like super wealthy. They work for Finra, so they probably got some level of money, but that's a lot. That's a lot for one order. And that was today. Crazy, honestly. Trying to make sense of it, but I guess it shows we're in the driver's seat. Rather be a part of AMC than not. But geez, today was weird. Today was a little bit weird. Right before the holidays, some Grinches coming out. Where is coming all that shares? Not exactly what you mean by that, but having an STO attached to each share. I don't really know what that's abbreviated for. Well, I probably do, but I haven't seen it in a long time. If you could clarify. I'm hyped for January 21st. All those calls. Yeah, a lot. I mean, we've been looking forward to the volatility for so long now. I mean, 438,000, and a lot of it's concentrated at the I've went over this a lot in videos, but the $40 strike is a lot. 56,000 for open interest. Unfortunately, the 145 has the most by a lot, but the 40, I mean, I think there's honestly no way we don't get to 40. Like, oh, okay. Security token, NFT dividend. Uh, I mean, NFT dividend would be cool, just for the sense of like obviously, getting a quote unquote like exposing synthetics, but legally right now they can't do it unless something changed in like the last week since I was looking into it. There's one other company, I forget the name of it, that's trying to do it right now, and they're still waiting on approval. But when they do, oh yeah, I think that'll be good. I think just a normal dividend is coming pretty soon. If, obviously free cash flow positive, they're going to be able to support the business. They're not going to be losing money in the war chest per se every month, every quarter, coming the first quarter of 2022, and the rest of the year is going to be great. So if they get in a good spot, I personally, like for the MOAS, sure, like the dividend would definitely help. But I wouldn't want them to like do a large dividend. I would rather see them pay down chunks of debt, honestly. But the dividend would probably help more with the MOAS. But like I am comfortable waiting, like honestly. Cuz we want the price as high as possible before high volume comes in, before people start to go crazy. But I think all of that's good. Probably found out something big. New short interest report on Monday. Yeah, I missed that comment. Yeah, that's true. They definitely found something out. I mean, they're gonna have the knowledge, right? So they know a lot more than we do. I mean, there was another 1,040 shares. What's that, like 35 grand? Yeah, 30 grand, 29,000. Use Symbiote. Oh, I think the NFT thing is dumb, to be honest. I want my money. Yeah, I think the dividend would probably fare better in like investors' eyes. Look what happened with that one stock, the special dividend stock that happened like 3 or 4 months ago that went crazy off the dividend. Chunks of back fat. Bro. Are you mad, bro? We can talk about it. We can definitely talk about it. The holidays, like I said, they just bring out the worst in people. It's okay. The day before Christmas Eve, you got to deal with your family. That annoying uncle, I get your frustration. Twitter is going crazy with the Charles thing as well. I definitely gotta watch that. I have not seen it. I kind of know like what happened, but yeah, Overstock killed it when they got a STO. Yeah, Overstock is actually a big crypto play still today. I played Overstock a few times in the last year. They tend to move along the same lines with crypto too. I believe they still hold a lot of crypto. This is Overstock, right? Overstock.com. Yeah, yes, yeah. This is right? Yeah. Yeah, they I traded this a couple times. I believe that's the right one. Could be wrong. You should link up with Rico or Dave Marino and cross technical analysis. Seems you guys might get along, perhaps. Is that a diss? is that a is that legit? Trey was sending subtle shots. They told him he had to play nice. Aw, man. Man, you can yeah, they're like, man, don't start calling out the naked shorts. Jeez. That's funny. Censoring at its finest. Don't put me on the freaking news. I'm gonna go crazy. I invested in T0. I think NFTs are gonna be the future. Yeah, I do too. Cause it's in theory, like not everybody like is down with the whole like metaverse stuff, but a lot of people are, and a lot of like you don't really own anything online. I guess the closest thing is like your brokerage account. I guess you technically own that, but your Facebook page, your YouTube channel, anything else you really don't own. So yeah, I think it's cool to take things that you can own into something people spend a lot of time on. That's like Fortnite skins. Like so many people, play Fortnite, buy skins and all that. Same concept as an NFT. Same exact thing. Imagine Kenny G gets drunk on Christmas and someone dares him to cover. That would be a trip. He's like, I'll do it right now. He'll pull a Elon, gets called out. He's like, I'll do it right now. End world hunger, let's do it. Cover, all in. That's hilarious. Do you think the squeeze will just randomly happen? Like, we look at the charts and big boom boom candles. Do you believe we'll stair step up and eventually break out? Just curious on your thoughts. Yeah, that's actually a great question. Usually there is, one catalyst, but that's when it's unexpected. Like with Volkswagen, it wasn't expected that Porsche was going to essentially buy up almost all the company. So I think in this case, it really is expected. So I think it's going to be a stair step like kind of event, and then ultimately it will be something crazy. But the best thing for right now with the stair stepping like motion or action, whatever you want to call it, is really going to start happening, I think, even after this quarter's earnings. Because the fundamental valuation, you got to look at it like the worst case scenario. Like every time we get new announcements, a new thing of innovation the company's doing, free cash flow positive, that's going to be huge right there. But every time something new happens and we get better and better news, that worst case scenario bar, per se, for a weird analogy, gets raised a little bit higher. So I do think it'll be a stair step like motion, and then we'll eventually get, the big boom boom candles. Because I think it's all going to culminate at once, right? Because, I've seen a lot of haters today in the comment section and other people's just videos. Basically, the only place I don't see haters is Twitter today. But, yeah, I think it's going to traders, FOMO buyers, other hedge funds that want to buy, like trade the stock too, shorts covering, market makers having to buy the shares to hedge out the calls. I think all of that's going to ultimately come together. And that's when I think it's going to be really interesting. Nah, man, I'm being serious, not a diss. More minds exchanging ideas, man. Oh, yeah, 100%. I think that'd be really cool. That would be cool. I'd get together and not really like predict when you think it's going to happen, but kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, cuz I think a lot of people would agree January is going to be a pretty interesting month. I mean, like the bounce last week, like the data was there, and it finally happened. That's what the data was saying, and the data is saying that we're in at the very least for a lot of volatility in January. Because this whole secular rotation, like, I know I keep saying this, but it's so important. A lot of people don't understand. Like, these mid-cap stocks, AMC for an example, down 40% from where it just was? You know? SoFi, same thing. DraftKings, same thing. Eventually, you're going to see a whole secular movement back into these stocks. Specifically ones that are like free cash flow positive and not losing as much money. AMC's looking more attractive than even something like DraftKings that still isn't free cash flow positive. So AMC is actually, moving up the ranks as far as where you'd want to put your capital, believe it or not. So what's this Finra buying thing? Oh, okay, here we go. Yeah, Finra. This is the only picture that I can see. Obviously, he's taking it from his phone on the computer. Savage Buds 420. A lot of other people have actually talked about this today too. A lot of people follow him that I'm following. But you see TRF, all these green orders right here. That's, let's pull it up. Forget. It says each FINRA trade reporting facility, TRF, provides FINRA members with a mechanism for reporting transactions affected otherwise than on an exchange. So they're essentially buying the stock. And $78,000 just in this order, this 2,700, and then another almost 30,000 in this order for 1,000 shares. So it's pretty weird. I think it's hard to say that AMC's not going anywhere after that. This quarter's earnings are going to blow last quarter earnings away. Yeah, and imagine how 2022 is going to be. Like, that's one thing that we have not had enough of is movies that people actually want to go see. I think we can all agree with that. Like, there's not really there wasn't a lot of movies in 2021 where you're like, yeah, I got to go see that. I got to go see that. It just wasn't there. I seen a Free Guy in theaters. That was a good movie, but it wasn't hyped. It wasn't like a franchise. It's not like Avatar 2 that's coming out or all the other crazy movies. Spider-Man sold more tickets than every movie last quarter. Yeah, and that's even crazy to put it into perspective. 7 million people went to the theaters last weekend. Only 6.4 million people flew on airplanes. So AMC had more visitors during the weekend than total people that flew on airplanes in the peak holiday season. And 7 million people that went to the theaters in just that weekend was more than all of Q1 2021, which granted a lot of theaters were still shut down at that time, but that just shows you the crazy attendance that they seen. I think the SEC will decide when the squeeze happens, to be honest. The squeeze is inevitable, just a matter of time. Yeah, that's ultimately, gonna be a factor to think about. I don't know if they're actually going to control it. I do feel like, we would all make millions and millions of dollars, but if it comes down to like a whole financial collapse, they do have the power, like legally, to halt a stock for like days if they want to. I don't know if that definitely they wouldn't be able to cover in that time, theoretically, shorts, but they could pause a stock for a long time. But I mean, you're going to have to get up to thousands of dollars per share before that. We'd all be, we'd all be chilling in the Bahamas somewhere. Matrix. Oh, thanks, brother. Merry Christmas to all, and to all we get filthy bleeping rich. Love your stuff. Keep it up, and thanks for everything. Appreciate you. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Like, I love talking about this stuff. Hope we all do get filthy rich sooner rather than later. I mean, we're all pretty patient when it comes down to it, but you know, Matrix going to surprise too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, geez, you went to go buy tickets today and couldn't get anything until 6:45 Sunday night. Oh man, yeah, I honestly can't wait because I've seen a lot of people in my personal life talk about going to see Matrix. Tons of people, more than Spider-Man. So if that's a gauge, then it should be really, really good. And people could say whatever they want, home theaters, that's, dude, no. You can't replicate the theater experience at home. So people will always go to theaters. Who pays for calls? Example, I buy a call randomly for 100, strike 100, and it squeezes to 1,000. Who pays that shit always? Trips me out. Yeah, that's where, like, if you sell the calls, so like somebody else would be agreeing to sell or buy the stock at that price. And that's where it gets into like that you'd start to get heavy margin calls. If it went to $1,000, whoever was on the back end of that trade would be getting crazy margin calls. And then, the backstop would ultimately be like, the NSCC, DTCC, because a lot of that activity is done by market makers. Like, market makers, they take about 90% of the back end of calls and puts, because there's not all the time, you could just go into the option market if they didn't do that and buy or sell calls and puts. They provide that liquidity. Because some people just don't sell cover calls or don't sell puts. I personally love to sell cover calls. That's my favorite passive income strategy. The hedge funds can just do this every day, right? What's the end game? The end game would be, I mean, there's a lot of different scenarios, but I think since it's already priced in a lot of these things, we've seen big announcements come and go, that ultimately the end game is sometime in 2022, right? You could say we get it like a dividend or something. That would definitely cause a lot of excitement, potentially cause the forced shorts to cover. But if they're taking out all these short positions and suddenly the company's generating, let's say they make $1 billion in profits next year. If the domestic box office is what it was in 2019 and they make 500 million, $1 billion, $2 billion in profits, the trade's going to look a lot different than it does now. So I think ultimately that's the end game, where it's like, hey, they're thinking to themselves, the hedge funds, like, this thing's not going down. Like, there will be another hedge fund to buy the stock because it's fundamentally valued at this price. We might as well just cover. But it's more than likely going to be some kind of big catalyst. Hearing that Messler guy is going to be on BB. I have not. Going to watch The Matrix at 7 tonight. I really do hope it's not a letdown. Spider-Man 2 is his biggest movie opening of all time. It was a freaking awesome movie. Yeah, comment in the comments too in one of the videos and let us know, because I definitely want to know. Some of the critics, like if you look on like Rotten Tomatoes, like some of the critics of movies just don't do it. Like, you'll see a movie that's got all these bad reviews, and then it's like, it was a great movie. So I want to hear from you. I wonder if the hedge funds are going to screw us over all January 21st options. Happy holidays to all the family. Keep holding. Keep strong. Hell yeah, dude. Appreciate you. You rock. There we go. Showing love. This feels like it's taking too long. We all hope to have a squeeze by now, and yet what we've done is come down. It's hard to stay optimistic. So many other plays that have gave huge returns. Yeah, you should always have more trades, Some people are just all in on AMC, which is fine. You're going to be rewarded the most, but Me personally, I have most of my portfolio in AMC, but I also do trade other stocks. So it's always good to have capital on the side to trade those other stocks. What do you think about the Rascal Gasparino? I've actually not seen that. I'm going to have to check that out. Because the closest thing we got to the Catalyst is GameStop partnership with Loopring, and maybe they issue an empty dividend. We will all squeeze. Yeah, that's possible. I mean, if GameStop or something did have some crazy catalyst, it's possible to do that. My daughter is now freaking out. So it was cool chatting with you guys. I appreciate all you guys. Aber Sarimino, sorry if I butchered your name. Appreciate you, brother. I want to go live here too soon. Want to talk to you guys more on a regular basis, get your guys' feedback on some things. But I'm going to go tend to her. She's having a bad day today. I appreciate you guys for